Hello, this is Carrie Margaret from Love Notes, and I show up to help you create more peace, calm, joy, and love in your life. It is a co-creation that we're doing, and today I wanted to, I was just chewing on a breath mint, like I want to be all minty fresh for you. So today I'm doing something new called Getting Real with Carrie, my path to more peace, peace, calm, and love. So yeah, I think it's super helpful to see the behind the scenes of my journey, or anybody who really is like stepping into a space to share experience, to be of service, to help others. Like I want to be really transparent about my path. And we're on this together. We're creating this together. So yeah, this will be a first of, maybe I'll do it once a month, updates on what's going on behind the scenes. And so new thing for me, this is like a huge thing online in general, and in areas of performance and personal development and all of that stuff. But I have started doing the Wim Hof method. I'm about a week into it. So that consists of cold, they call it like cold therapy or cold plunging. People also use cold showers, and the breathing techniques that Wim Hof developed while walking down his journey as the Iceman. Yeah, so he shares that with the world. He's got an amazing, very touching story. He actually lost his wife, the woman he calls the love of his life, to suicide when he was younger, and he had 4 young kids, and the pain was so immense that he had no idea what to do with that. I'm very familiar with immense pain that just becomes bigger than our bodies, and found ice. It just intuitively, he knew to go into ice. And when he started doing ice baths, it was the one thing that helped him move through the pain and heal on a deeper level. And then he decided to go out and share it with the world to help people heal themselves from anxiety, depression. And his wife had schizophrenia, and he's worked with people with schizophrenia as well using these methods. So just a beautiful example of somebody, moving from their pain and playing it forward. And it really resonated with me. That's why I show up to you. I have liked to find meaning in my own pain, and helping other people along the way as well, because life can be calm and joyous and beautiful, and it also can include a lot of pain and suffering. And I want to hold your hand and move you more into the spaces of calm and peace and love and joy. It's been my journey, and it's been very hard fought. I experienced huge levels of depression and what people would call anxiety, even though the word anxiety has never really resonated with me, and probably what people would call panic attacks. In an earlier business I was developing, I had trouble developing the business because I was afraid that I might get a panic or anxiety attack at any moment, that I would just get like flooded with these feelings and have no idea what to do with them. So I felt really just unsafe and ungrounded, and got a lot of support, learned a lot of tools, have a lot of goodness to share with you. But in the overall path of healing, sort of where I am right now is after, so many years of kind of a habitual depression and some levels of nervous energy in my body. I've done a lot of things to rework thoughts and belief systems, but I was really finding that I still kind of had some habitual feelings in my body. Sometimes I would call them fatigue, but it really, there was similarities between the depression that I lived with for so many years. So the new practice that I pulled together in this past week to really energize my body, to show up better for myself and, my kids, my relationships, and for you is using the Wim Hof method. That and two other things I'll mention in a minute. But so I'm about a week in, and the way that I do it, I found sort of a system, just to do it. And I like wake up in the morning, and first thing in my bed, I just on my phone bring up the Wim Hof breathing technique tutorial. It's about 10 minutes, and it takes me through the 3 rounds of the breathing. And then I do about like a 5-minute meditation. I'm actually not a huge meditator. I just like to, because I prefer to be mindful and present and kind of like meditate through my day. Like just be really present to life. That's my meditation in action, a walking meditation, or presence with somebody that I love, or engagement in my work and flow, or just engagement in washing the dishes and feeling the steadiness of my hands, or anything that I'm doing, whether it is grocery shopping or driving my car or hugging a friend, being with my kids. I just like to really engage and be present and be mindful. That's my favorite way to meditate. Even though it's, people would argue it's a little bit different. I think it's pretty similar, that idea of just being present to life. But I do that for about 5 minutes. I do a little meditation, and then I will go to the bathroom and fill up the tub with cold water. And on a few occasions I get ice, but that's not always practical. I think I've done that twice in the past 2 weeks. And so I just go and fill it up with cold water. And I know in some senses it can be like, oh, unrelatable. Like, how can you just get into cold water? But what I found that really works for me and has helped me is, first of all, I just decided to do it. I decided to, about the same time that I made the commitment, okay, I'm going to do these videos. I'm going to work my way through them. I'll, get better over time and be able to, more importantly, share with people and really help and serve on a bigger level and create more of a co-creation. And so as part of that commitment, just showing up to you and doing more of these videos, and then also showing up to my life and my energy level and my work and my kids and all my relationships, I knew that I had to kind of up level my energy and get rid of some of the older levels of older feelings of fatigue that I would deal with. That were really kind of depressive states that I'd still been dealing with that would come. A lot are on my cycle for you women. That happens a lot with me. So it was really a decision. So I made the decision, and it's once we decide, and I decided I was going to do it, and I was going to make it work. And so I look for the most fun way to do it. So I will put on, I'll put a timer on. I do it from the first few days. I did it for just a few minutes, and now I do it for 10. So I'll put a timer on. 5 is good too. Whatever, a song, I would listen to a song, put a timer on, and put on some good music, and I'll get myself into the water, get myself psyched into it, and be like, yes, I am going to love this. I know what this is going to bring me, so I'm going to love it. And, just go in and start to feel the sensation, and let it be a different sensation than just shock and cold. Just actually feel the sensation and relax into it. And then I will sing a few really high energy songs and celebrate myself when I'm done after the 10 minutes. So that's how I have incorporated the Wim Hof method. And after a week, I feel significantly more energized. I have used the breathing sometimes in the afternoon if I have a little bit of a dip. but I'm just feeling like much more consistent energy. I'm also like, you might even see in my chest here too, like my color has gotten a lot better. It's like, I once met this for you ladies, or you men too. I had a girlfriend who had like the most amazing legs ever, and I was like talking to her about it one day, and she was like, you know what my secret is? She's like, cold water. I end every shower with cold water on my legs. And like there is a visible difference in my legs and my body. I feel it's like surprisingly more toned, more youthful, with better color, and a lot more energized. And that's really how the depression was still kind of would show up in my body, kind of like this heaviness and fatigue. So yeah, there's that update. I also did at the same time, start to be more conscious about like hydration, like really trying to make sure that I'm drinking more water. That does help with energy, and to be a bit more consistent with green smoothies. I usually like off and on will do one green smoothie a day, which is just like fruit, organic greens, and then some kind of protein powder. And, sometimes I'll put mock-up powder in it or other things and just blend it up. And so that is the goodness that I want to share with you now. I plan on doing another update in about a month about it. And the other piece that I really have been playing with a lot is routine and structure. I am such a flow-y person. I love flow, so resistant to structure. And structure can create safety in our bodies. I'll do a video about that later. But I've been so resistant to it. When you have to show up to things, it's like I can show up to life and show up to what I need to, but creating those internal structures and like discipline has been like an ongoing thing where I've felt resistance to it. I have a little bit of a rebel in me. And so one thing that I have been sort of contemplating, thinking about a lot is this passage here. I like how to it's a passage about creating more joy. And the idea is like how to create more structure and, so that like joy is more of a structured thing in our life, that we're creating more joy. I had been contemplating creating more joy in the structure of my life, and pulled off my shelf High Performance Habits, Brendon Burchard, and just happened to open the book to Bring the Joy, the chapter entitled Bring the Joy. It's like our intuition will always bring us to the exact right space, right? And so much of what I am really desiring to do in the way that I want to show up to you is this whole idea of like how to create more positive emotion in your life and more positive experiences. So I'm going to share a passage that he wrote that I think speaks really well to this. You've heard it said that showing up is 80% of success. Well, if you want to be a high performer, show up and bring the joy. That all sounds wonderful, but what if you lack positive emotion? What happens when your life isn't joyous? What if people around you are negative? Well, then you better change that. Positive emotion is a prerequisite for high performance. And only you are in charge of your enduring emotional experience. Remember the lesson from last chapter, I was referring to the last chapter. You can choose your feelings, the interpretations you have about the emotions you sense. And the more you do that, the more you will rewire how you experience emotion. You're in charge of how you feel. That's perhaps one of the greatest human gifts. Hallelujah, Brendon, on that one. Beautiful. That doesn't mean that high performers are always happy and perfect and awesome. Just like everyone else, they experience negative emotions. It's just that they cope with them better, and perhaps even more important, they consciously direct their thoughts and behaviors to generating positive emotion. Again, high performers will themselves into positive states, just as athletes do specific things to get themselves into the zone. High performers consciously cultivate joy. I love this, consciously cultivating joy. Now, I don't necessarily resonate as a high performer. That actually sounds a little bit stressful to me, thinking about having to perform all the time. But what really resonates with me is like really showing up to life 100%, you know? So, that's similar to being a high performer, like really showing up 100%, especially in all my relationships. I'm a mom, the relationships with my kids, it's super important to me to be able to show up 100%, show up to myself, show up to you. So, cultivating joy, cultivating positive emotion, and creating more connection. All of these things can be learned over time. So those are my thoughts. That's what I wanted to share with you on getting real behind the scenes with Carrie Margaret. And thanks you for joining me on this video. If you like this update, want to hear like more updates and more of my shares about creating more positive emotion in your life, connecting more, feeling more love, feeling more joy, moving through some of the, the pain and the suffering and the difficult things, and really coming into your own wholeness. Please subscribe. You can learn more about me at carriemargaret.com. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself. The world needs really this, the best version of you, the best that you can show up for today, and all the people that love you, need that as well. And so thank you for honoring yourself, sending you so much love. Have a blessed day.